The captain passed out, but the girl in seat 9C took control. At 35,000 feet, disaster strikes. The pilot collapses suddenly. Panic fills the cabin. Everyone is scared. Then a 15-year-old girl stands up from seat 9C. She says 4 words that shock everyone: "I can help fly." Nobody believes her. She looks like any other teenager. Would they trust her with 180 lives? Find out what happens next. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. It was a normal Tuesday morning when Maya boarded flight 447. She was only 15 years old, and this was her first time flying alone. Her mother had packed her a lunchbox and given her a tight hug at the airport. Maya wore a blue hoodie and carried a small backpack. She looked like any other teenager going on a trip. Nobody noticed anything special about Maya. She was quiet and polite. When the flight attendant checked her ticket, she just smiled and found her seat. Seat 9C. A window seat with a good view of the wing. Maya sat down and pulled out a thick book from her backpack. The cover was old and worn. On the outside, it just looked like a regular science book. But inside, it was something much more important. It was a manual about aircraft engines and flying systems. Maya had been reading books like this for years. Her father had been a pilot. A good one. He flew big commercial planes for an airline. He loved flying more than anything in the world. When Maya was small, he would sit with her and explain how planes work. He would show her pictures of cockpits and tell her stories about flying through storms and landing in difficult weather. One day, Maya, he used to say, you might need this knowledge. The sky is full of surprises. You should always be ready. Maya's father had died 3 years ago. A sudden illness. One day he was there, and the next day he was gone. But he had left Maya something precious. He had left her his knowledge and his love for flying. After he died, Maya had continued to study. She spent hours reading his old books and watching videos about aircraft. She practiced on flight simulator games online. She memorized the names of every instrument in an airplane cockpit. Her mother did not know how serious Maya was about this. She thought Maya was just interested in science as a hobby. But Maya was preparing for something. She did not know what. Her father's words kept coming back to her: you should always be ready. Now, sitting in seat 9C, Maya opened her book and began to read. Other passengers walked past her. A businessman rushed to his seat, checking his phone. A mother carried a crying baby. An old couple moved slowly down the aisle. Nobody paid attention to the quiet girl reading by the window. The flight attendant, a woman named Sarah, came by with the safety information card. She smiled at Maya in that special way adults smile at children when they are alone. "Hello, sweetheart. Is this your first flight?" Sarah asked. "No, ma'am. I have flown before," Maya answered politely. "Well, good. Just press this button if you need anything," Sarah said, pointing at the call button. Maya nodded and continued reading. She was on page 150, learning about hydraulic systems. She read slowly and carefully, making sure she understood every word. The plane began to move backward from the gate. Maya heard the engines start. She felt the familiar sound and vibration. Other passengers looked out the window or played on their phones. But Maya closed her eyes and listened. She could hear exactly what each engine was doing just from the sound. The plane moved to the runway. The captain's voice came over the speaker, calm and professional. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Robert speaking. We will be taking off in just a moment. The flight time to Los Angeles is 5 hours and 15 minutes. We should arrive on time. Thank you for flying with us." The engines grew louder. Maya felt the plane start to move faster and faster down the runway. The nose lifted up. The ground began to fall away below them. They were flying now. Maya loved this feeling. It was like the plane was coming alive beneath her. After about 30 minutes, the plane reached its flying height. The captain turned off the seatbelt sign with a ding. People began to move around. Some went to the bathroom. Others pulled out pillows and blankets to sleep. A flight attendant started bringing drinks and snacks. Maya continued reading her book. A woman sat down next to her. Her name was Jennifer. She was a teacher going to visit her daughter in Los Angeles. "First time flying, honey?" Jennifer asked. "No, I have flown before," Maya said. "Oh, that is nice. Are you going to visit family?" Jennifer asked. "Yes, my aunt," Maya answered. She did not look up from her book. Jennifer tried to start more conversations, but Maya gave short answers. She wanted to keep reading. Jennifer finally gave up and closed her eyes to sleep. Maya read for another hour. She was learning about emergency procedures. What to do if an engine fails. What to do if there is a fire. How to control the plane with backup systems. She memorized everything. Her father's voice seemed to whisper from the pages, "You should always be ready." It was around hour 3 of the flight when everything changed. In the cockpit, Captain Robert was sitting in the left seat. First Officer James was in the right seat. They had been flying together for 6 months and worked well as a team. Captain Robert was 58 years old and had been flying for 30 years. He was experienced and confident. "All systems are good," First Officer James said, checking his instruments. "We should arrive right on time." Captain Robert nodded. He reached for his coffee cup. The weather ahead looked clear. The flight was going smoothly. There were no problems. But then something happened. Captain Robert suddenly felt dizzy. His vision became blurry for a moment. He put down his coffee cup. His chest started to feel tight. He took a deep breath, thinking it was nothing. Just stress. Then the pain came. It started in his chest. A sharp, shooting pain. Captain Robert's face went white. He gripped the armrest. His breathing became fast and short. "Mike," he said to First Officer James, his voice weak and strange. "Something is wrong. I do not feel." His words stopped. His head rolled back. His body went limp in the seat. He was unconscious. First Officer James looked over, shocked. "Captain. Captain, can you hear me?" No answer. Captain Robert was completely unconscious, slumped in his seat. First Officer James's heart began to beat very fast. This was the worst thing that could happen in an airplane. The captain was sick or hurt, and now James was alone. He was a good pilot, but he had never been in charge without the captain before. James immediately pressed the button to call for help. His hands were shaking as he checked the captain's neck to see if he was still breathing. "He is breathing," James said to himself. Okay. Okay. Stay calm. Stay calm." A flight attendant named Sarah pushed open the cockpit door. "What happened? Are you okay?" Sarah asked. "The captain collapsed." "I think it is his heart," James said. His voice was tight with worry. "Get me someone with medical training. Now." Sarah ran back into the cabin. She grabbed the microphone with shaking hands. "Is anyone here a doctor or nurse?" Sarah called out. "We have a medical emergency. We need medical help right now." The cabin went quiet. Then a woman in row 12 stood up. Her name was Dr. Lisa Chen. She was a real doctor. "I am here," Dr. Chen said. "I am a doctor." Dr. Chen rushed to the cockpit. She quickly checked Captain Robert's pulse and breathing. She looked very worried. "This looks like a heart attack," Dr. Chen said. His pulse is weak. We need to get him on the floor so I can help him better. Sarah and Dr. Chen pulled Captain Robert out of the pilot's seat and laid him on the floor. Dr. Chen began to work on him, checking his condition, trying to help. First Officer James sat alone in the pilot's seat. He was now in control of an airplane with 180 passengers. The plane was flying at 35,000 feet. And he was alone. James immediately pressed the radio button. Seattle Center, this is Flight 447. We have an emergency. The captain has collapsed. Medical emergency. First Officer James is now in command. We need priority landing. We are continuing to Seattle. The voice on the radio was calm and steady. Flight 447, Roger. Understand the captain is down. You have priority. Maintain altitude. We are standing by for medical at Seattle. James took a deep breath. His hands gripped the controls tightly. He knew how to fly this airplane. He had trained for emergencies. But he had never been truly alone before. You can do this, he whispered to himself. You can do this. Just fly the plane. That is all you have to do. In the cabin, Sarah spoke to the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a medical emergency with one of our pilots. But do not worry. First Officer James is a trained pilot and he can fly the airplane safely. We are going to land in Seattle soon. Everything is okay. But the passengers did not feel okay. Worried whispers filled the cabin. People looked scared. Some passengers held hands with the people next to them. Then Sarah made an announcement that would change everything. If anyone on this flight has pilot training or flying experience, please press your call button. We may need your help. The cabin became very quiet. Nobody pressed their call button. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then in row 9, a young girl in a blue hoodie slowly closed her book. Maya's heart was beating very fast. This was it. This was the moment her father had been preparing her for. This was why he had taught her everything about flying. Maya stood up. Everyone looked at her. She was just a 15-year-old girl. She looked like she should be worried about homework or friends. But her face was calm and serious. I can help, Maya said loudly. Her voice was clear and strong. I have pilot training. I can help the first officer. For a moment, nobody said anything. Then people started to react. That is just a kid, a man said. This is crazy, a woman said. We cannot trust a child to help fly the plane. But Maya did not listen to them. She walked toward the front of the plane. Sarah, the flight attendant, was shocked. You can fly? Sarah asked, not believing what she was hearing. My father was a commercial pilot, Maya said. He trained me. I know aircraft systems. I know emergency procedures. I can help First Officer James. Sarah looked into Maya's eyes. She saw something unusual there. She saw confidence. She saw knowledge. Sarah made a quick decision. Come with me, Sarah said. Sarah took Maya to the cockpit. First Officer James looked up and was shocked to see a young girl. Who is this? He asked. She says she can help. She says her father was a pilot and trained her, Sarah explained. James looked at Maya. He wanted to say no. She was just a child. But his hands were shaking. He was scared. He was alone. And his captain was unconscious. If Maya could help him in any way, maybe he should say yes. What is your name? James asked. Maya, she said. My father taught me about aircraft systems. I have studied planes for 3 years. I know the instruments. I know the emergency procedures. I cannot fly the plane, but I can help you. I can read checklists. I can watch the instruments. I can be your second pair of eyes. James thought for a moment. Every part of his brain said this was wrong. She was a child. But another part of his brain, the part that was very scared and very tired, said this was exactly what he needed. Sit down, James said, pointing to a small seat behind him. You do not touch anything. But you can help me watch the instruments. Okay. Okay, Maya said. She sat down and looked at all the instruments in front of her. They were exactly like the ones she had studied in pictures and videos. She knew them all. Tell me what is happening, Maya said, her voice calm and professional. James took a deep breath. Just having Maya there made him feel a little bit better. The captain collapsed about 10 minutes ago, James said. I am maintaining altitude at 35,000 feet. I have declared an emergency and told air traffic control we are going to Seattle. We need to land in about 1 hour and 20 minutes. What is your current heading? Maya asked. Heading 175 degrees, James answered. And the weather at Seattle? Maya asked. Clear skies. Winds from the northwest at 8 knots, James answered. Good, Maya said. That is good weather for landing. We should be able to make a good approach. For the next few minutes, Maya asked James questions about the airplane's condition. She asked about fuel. She asked about the hydraulic systems. She asked about the electrical systems. With each question, James explained the answer. And with each answer, he felt more confident. First Officer James, Maya said. You have flown this airplane many times before. You have trained for emergencies. You know what to do. I am just here to help you remember. I am just here to make sure you do not forget anything. But you are the pilot. You can do this. James looked at this 15-year-old girl. She was right. He could do this. He was trained. He was capable. He just needed to believe in himself. Okay, James said. Thank you, Maya. For the next hour, Maya and James worked together. Maya helped James run through the pre-landing checklist. She read each item, and James checked it off. Fuel. Engines. Lights. Navigation systems. Everything was working correctly. As they got closer to Seattle, the clouds began to appear below them. James started to descend the airplane slowly. Maya watched the altitude indicator as they came down. She called out the numbers. 35,000 feet. 30,000 feet. 25,000 feet, Maya said quietly. All systems normal. Speed is good. James was now doing what he had been trained to do. He was flying the airplane. And Maya was helping him stay focused. Seattle Center, Flight 447 is now at 15,000 feet, descending, James said on the radio. Flight 447, Roger. You are cleared for approach to runway 16 left. Continue descent. You are cleared to land, the radio said. Cleared to land, runway 16 left, James confirmed. The city of Seattle appeared below them. It was a beautiful sight. The water of Puget Sound sparkled in the late afternoon sun. James could see the airport ahead, with its long gray runways. Gear down, James said, moving the landing gear lever. 3 green lights, Maya confirmed. Gear is down and locked. Flaps 15, James said. Flaps 15 confirmed, Maya said. They were getting closer to the ground now. James could feel the airplane getting heavier as they slowed down. He could feel it wanting to come down. 1,000 feet, Maya said. Speed is good. Heading is good. 500 feet, Maya said. Looking good. Glide path is perfect. 200 feet, Maya said. Stay on heading. 100 feet, Maya said. You have got this. You are going to land this airplane perfectly. 50 feet, Maya said quietly. 20 feet, Maya said. 10 feet, Maya said. Then, with barely a bump, the wheels touched the runway. The airplane was landing. It was working. James had done it. James pushed the reverse thrust levers and the airplane slowed down. They were safe. They had landed. In the cabin, the passengers let out a huge cheer. People were crying. They were clapping. They were thanking God. They were alive. First Officer James let out a long, shaky breath. "We did it," he whispered. "You did it," Maya said. "You flew that airplane perfectly. You are a great pilot." Immediately, emergency vehicles surrounded the airplane. Paramedics rushed aboard. They took Captain Robert to an ambulance. Dr. Chen went with them, providing information about his condition. As the passengers got off the airplane, many of them stopped to look at Maya. Some thanked her. Others just stared at her, trying to understand how a young girl could help save their lives. An old man named Mr. Williams shook her hand. "Young lady, your father must be very proud of you," he said. Maya's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. He would be. Over the next few days, Maya's story spread everywhere. Newspapers wrote about her. Television stations wanted to interview her. Internet videos of the landing became popular. Everyone wanted to know about the girl in seat 9C who helped save the airplane. Some people praised Maya. They said she was brave and smart. They said she showed that age does not matter if you have knowledge and courage. But some people criticized the situation. They said a child should never have been allowed to help in the cockpit. They said it was too dangerous. They said the airlines should have better rules. Aviation experts discussed what had happened. They looked at the recordings. They studied the procedures. Most of them said that Maya had done everything correctly. First Officer James had made a good decision to accept her help. Captain Robert recovered slowly. He had suffered a heart attack, but he was going to live. He sent Maya a letter. "Dear Maya," the letter said. "First Officer James told me everything you did on that flight. You saved my life. You saved all those lives. Your father was a wonderful pilot, and I can see that you have his gift. He would be incredibly proud of you. Thank you for being brave and prepared. You are an inspiration to all pilots." First Officer James stayed in touch with Maya. He sent her messages and emails. He told her that she had the skills to become a professional pilot. He encouraged her to follow her dreams. But the most important thing for Maya was sitting in her room at her aunt's house, looking at her father's old flight manuals. She touched the notes he had written in the margins. She read his words again. "One day, Maya, you might need this knowledge. The sky is full of surprises. You should always be ready." And she whispered to the empty room, "I was ready, Dad. I was ready just like you taught me." And it helped. It really helped. 6 months after the emergency landing, Maya turned 16. On her birthday, her mother took her to a local flight school. Today was the day Maya would take her first real flying lesson in a real airplane. Not a simulator. A real aircraft. Her instructor was a woman named Captain Maria. Captain Maria was a professional pilot who taught young people how to fly. She had heard about Maya's story. She was honored to be her teacher. Today, Captain Maria said, "You will start to become what you have always been prepared to be. A pilot." Maya walked to the small airplane on the runway. It was a Cessna 172, a small plane with 2 seats. It was painted white and blue. The sun was shining and there was a light breeze. Captain Maria did the pre-flight check. She showed Maya all the important parts of the airplane. Then they got inside. Maya sat in the left seat. This was the pilot's seat. Captain Maria sat in the right seat. You know more about aircraft than most of my students will ever know, Captain Maria said. You have been in a real emergency. You have proven yourself under pressure that would break most people. So today, I am going to treat you like a real pilot, not like a student. I am going to teach you like you are a fellow aviator. Are you ready? Maya smiled. Yes, I am ready. They started the engines. The airplane came alive with sound and vibration. Just like when Maya had sat in seat 9C on flight 447, she closed her eyes and listened to every sound. They taxied to the runway. Then Captain Maria looked at Maya. The airplane is yours, she said. Take off whenever you are ready. Maya pushed the throttle forward. The airplane accelerated down the runway. Her heart was beating very fast. This was it. This was real flying. Her hands were on the controls. Her eyes were watching the instruments. This was what her father had prepared her for. The nose of the airplane lifted up. The ground began to fall away below her. The wheels left the runway. They were flying. Maya was flying an airplane. Below her, the world spread out like a map. Roads looked like thin lines. Houses looked like little toys. Trees looked like dots. The sun was bright and the sky was blue. Maya banked the airplane gently to the right. She felt the controls respond to her touch. She understood exactly what the airplane needed. She was not thinking about it. She just knew. You are doing great, Captain Maria said. Your father taught you well. Maya smiled. She thought about her father. She thought about all the hours he had spent teaching her. She thought about the day on flight 447 when she had used everything he had taught her. I am flying, Dad, she whispered. I am really flying now. As the airplane climbed higher and higher, Maya felt truly happy for the first time since her father had died. She knew he was watching her from somewhere. She knew he was proud. The sky had never felt so big. The world had never looked so beautiful. And Maya Jenkins, the girl from seat 9C, was finally where she belonged. In the air. In control. Flying toward her dreams. Maya's story teaches us something important. It teaches us that knowledge has no age limit. It teaches us that courage means standing up even when other people doubt you. It teaches us that preparation matters. When everyone saw Maya, they saw only a young girl. They did not see her knowledge. They did not see her training. They did not see her capability. But Maya knew what she was capable of. When the emergency happened, Maya did not hesitate. She stood up. She used what her father had taught her. And she helped save 180 lives. Today, Maya is studying to become a commercial pilot. She has sponsors and teachers who believe in her. She has universities that want her to study aviation. She has airlines that want to hire her when she is old enough. But more importantly, Maya knows who she is. She is not just a girl in seat 9C. She is a pilot. She is smart. She is brave. She is capable. And she is honoring her father's memory every single day by living the dream he gave her. The sky does not care about your age. The sky does not care about what you look like. The sky does not care about what other people think about you. The sky only cares about one thing: can you do the job? Maya Jenkins answered that question when she was only 15 years old. And she is still answering it every day.